could say Joe Blow, and the count's changed. So that's a way that you can, use other functions that are going to be internal. And we can see this increment count function isn't added to this list over here. It's not exposed to, things outside of the smart contract. External callers can't use it. So that's an example of, other, types of visibility of functions in Solidity. Let's talk about function modifier, or, words and terms to the end of this function to change how it behaves. And I'll show you an example. So we're going to create our own custom modifier actually inside of this smart contract so that only certain people can call this add person function. All right. So what I'm going to do is basically, make this smart contract have an owner or like an admin. And we're going to say that only the owner can call this add person function, and any other account connected to the network, whenever they try to, add a person, they won't be able to. And that'll show you how we can add an extra modifier to this function to make that happen. Basically, we'll just add a modifier that says that only the owner of this smart contract can do that. So first, we need to, well, actually, that'll just look like this. We'll say only owner. That's what the modifier will look like. Now, this only owner modifier doesn't exist yet, so let's go ahead and create it. All right, so we'll do that like this. First, we need to keep track of an owner. We'll say the owner is, address. I'm not sure if we talked about this in the data types video, but, an address is a data type inside of Solidity. Like an address that's on the network, an account. So this will be the address. We're just going to declare it here. We're not going to set it just yet. We can set it like this. We can do it inside the constructor. So that will be the owner. We basically just create a modifier like this. We say modifier. Say only owner. It's like a function. And what we'll do inside of here is write the logic that makes sure that, whoever's, calling the smart contract is the owner. So that's what we're defining here. Only owner and only owner. So how do we do that? How do we say the person who's calling this function is the owner of this smart contract? Well, we're going to compare it to this owner right here. But how do we know who's calling the function? Well, Solidity has a global keyword called MSG, which basically stands for the function metadata that's passed in. And we're not actually going to pass in any metadata here. It's going to be implied. So basically, we have access to MSG.sender. And this is basically a special thing inside of Solidity that tells us the account, its address. And basically, we can just say, is this person the owner? We can just, compare equality of the person who's calling the function with this owner that we're going to store here in a second. All right. And if they're not, we actually want to throw an error. All right. So this is going to show you another concept in Solidity about error handling. So we can throw an error and actually run this function.